enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, by my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye ju zoge ju nam no janju bardo dane gyapsu che dage jin so kebe sonam dola benjir sangye du bare jo sangye ju da zoge cho nam no janju bardo dane gyapsu dage jin so kebe sonam ge dola benjir sangye du bare jo Sanje joda zoge chonam la chanjo bardo tane kyapso che dage jinso kebe sonam tola benjir sanje rubare sho Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te shamdata gato yevatat Desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham nathagato yavatat Desham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum desham dathagato yavatat desham chayo Evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear light and non-composite. Such is the nectar life Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching in silence or retarded words. Beyond utterance, thought, and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Its object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas, or 3 times of the obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dhamma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha, the Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expansive billions of eons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries gloom. If you're attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you're attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you're attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have the view. Okay, continuation from where we left this morning session. We are talking about the 3 levels of dependent origination. What are the 3 levels of dependent origination? Raise hands, who remembers? Raise hands, raise hands. 3 levels of dependent origination. Raise hands. Okay, Ornella.
Dependent origination, depending results depending on causes, depending origination of mental, the whole depending on parts, and dependent origination of dependence of mere mental imputation and designation.
Thank you. The gentleman over there, your name? Richard, yes. Would you mind repeating these 3? That's a short form. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So we'd have these on our fingertips. Yes, I cannot really say that I can't expect you to have everything on your fingertips right now. But this is, if you can learn these on your fingertips, that'll be very helpful, because you will be enriched with the extremely meaningful the information, and then you think about your thought process will become very clear, and you learn how to articulate your concepts. Otherwise, you have to use many words, and the concept is not conveyed clearly. So these are the vocabularies which can help us. Okay, so the first one, dependent origination of the results, dependence of the causes. And this I said that there are two kinds. One which involve where our intention is involved, mental intention is involved. What is that known as? Karmic cause and effect. Karmic cause and effect. Whereas where the mental intention is not involved, where things are pure mechanical. Pure mechanical, let's say the sunflower, it turns towards the east when the sun shines. So that's purely mechanical. It has nothing to do with the intention to move there. But there must be some biologists here, the biologists who would argue that some plants, they can sense. In fact, we invited the vice chancellor of Jawaharlal University, him to give, say, one annual lecture at the invitation Tibet House, and he gave a brilliant talk. He's a biologist. He gave a brilliant talk on how the plants, they talk to each other when the threats come. It's amazing. Talk meaning that, you know, there's some mechanism by which the plants, they alert other plants that, oh, there's a threat there. So how he presented is so beautiful. Okay, so the whole universe is operating on the basis of the dependent origination, cause and effect. So from this, what we learn is that the morning mantra which we recite, Ye Dharma Hedu Prabhava, all phenomena arise from the causes. Phenomena here, the composite phenomena. All composite phenomena, whether your happiness, your suffering, your stress, tension, or say the sense of relief, any experience, they should necessarily come into being by dependence on their causes. For this, we must get a very good picture of this, and on that basis, this should help us find a ground, that we should be very grounded rather than, you know, expecting having some false expectations that, okay, if I do this, and then if I start a startup, right? If I go with the startup, then I can become like Mark Zuckerberg. What's his name? Mark Zuckerberg, right? The second Mark Zuckerberg. So we should be very realistic. What's your proper plan? Of course, you can become bigger than Mark Zuckerberg, but you should proper plan, because things don't arise simply by say how many. Some people, they come up with, you know, the advertisements. Somebody started this and then he became a billionaire and so forth. How many? If not millions, for sure, thousands of startups are being started, and many of them collapse, right? So it is a fact. So the thing is that we need to know, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. Knowing this, that all these are the good things that we expect should come from, but depends on their corresponding causes. So what are the corresponding causes? We have to know them so well. And then you start a business, you can do a great business. You can start a spirituality, you can become a great spiritual practitioner. Otherwise, you always remain an average person. Okay, so this is how the universe is operating on the basis of the mere cause and effect. This is what we need to have in mind. And then the good things that you expect, don't expect that some gurus bless you and then you can fly in the air, then you become enlightened. No, it's impossible. So things are all, the Buddha very clearly indicated, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. Things arise from the respective causes. So the point is that one example that I give is that simply by, some people who are for the first time coming to Buddhism, and then say, oh, it's so nice, it's amazing. You read the very interesting stories, just by flying in the air. I can also, fly. And then how do you do that? You should have a guru. You have to practice Dharma, and then you leave everything behind, and then it's a total false expectation. So we have to know the cause and effect so well. On that basis, we have to operate. Okay. So this is, and for this, we are talking about the three conditions. What is the first condition? Unwavering condition, which means that the composite results, they should necessarily, unwaveringly, they should be given rise to by a cause. Number one, unwavering meaning there should be a cause. What's the second one? Cause must be impermanent, or the condition of impermanence. Condition of impermanence. That cause must be impermanent. If the cause is permanent, then the cause means static. It doesn't move. When it doesn't move, how can it give rise to the result? It remains static. And if it remains static, then if it did not give rise to the result yesterday, then whatever factors yesterday was same today. Today will also not give rise to result. So all these contradictions are there. So the cause must be impermanent, number two. So because this exists, that exists is the unwavering condition. Because this is produced meaning cause and effect. Even the cause is produced, it should be impermanent, that the results will come into being. That is the condition of impermanence. And because of the ignorance, karma is created. Because of karma, consciousness is created. I think we read somewhere. Huh? Oh, turn to the basics. Don't just look at me. Right, look at the book. Book. Don't be lazy. Where is this? Which page? 63. 63. Was it 63? So, okay, 63. The last paragraph, line 4. Bhikshus, whoever sees dependent arising, sees the Dharma. Whoever sees the Dharma, sees the Buddha. Well, the phrase dependent arising means that because this exists, that exists. What is this? This is what? The condition of the three conditions that we talked? Unwavering condition. This is indicated by because this exists, that exists. No, second one, because this is produced, that is produced. What is this talking about? The condition of impermanence, number 2. Number 3, this is to say, ignorance causes formations. Formations here referring to the karma. The formations cause consciousness. So what is this talking about? Yes, the condition of potentiality. You're getting it? Okay, I give you full, you give me full. Right? I give you full, you give me full. You just said potentiality, right? What is that?
Condition of potential.
Wonderful. Okay, so these are the 3 conditions which means that with a wisdom, right? Say, you do something negative, don't expect happiness, right? So this is the meaning of the potential, the condition of potentiality. You plant an apple seed, don't expect mangoes going out of that. Apple seed doesn't have the potential to give rise to mangoes, right? And they say I'm not too sure how many of you are familiar with the concept of the karma. How many of you have been hearing this? It's karma. Raise your hands. How many hearing this so many times in your life? Since you're sheltered, many of you, good. So people, when they don't understand law of karma well, law of karma, you have to think of these 3 things. Unwavering condition, the condition of impermanence, and the condition of potentiality, right? So what people do, some people, the young people, what they do is that they're always after the mobile, the games, all sorts of the games. And the parents, they will say, hey, study well, study well, study well. And they say, yes, and then after games all the time. And then in the exams, they fail, right? And the parents say, look, now I told you, you have not studied well, you failed. And so, Mom, what do you do? It's my karma, right? It's my karma to fail, what do you do? Okay, this is the abuse of the concept of karma. It's not the real concept of karma. And the mom also, and if the mom happens to believe in law of karma, right? Mom, you believe in law of karma? Yes. right? So what you do is karma that I feel, right? So which means the mother also doesn't know the law of karma, and the child also doesn't know the law of karma, and the child abuses the law of karma concept. So whereas the mother should be able to tell the child that no, you have to know the three conditions of the law of karma. What is the first? Unwavering condition. There should be the cause. If you want to be passed, you must put the effort. There must be a cause there. And this cause should be impermanent, which means that it should be like studying well. It's impermanent. Studying well. Study, rest well, study, rest well, right? And then what? The condition of the potentiality, right? Condition of potentiality. So if you play game, this is not the cause of the passing the exam. Playing games, this is the cause of the failing the exam, right? So you did not know the three conditions. The mother should be able to tell that. Okay, so now you have your children, or you have your brother, sister, and so forth. If they abuse the law of karma, you have to say this three conditions. You getting it? Okay. So this is a pertain to the dependent origination of the results, depends on the causes. What is number two? What is number two?
Dependent origination of forms dependence on parts.
And dependent origination of the wholes dependence on the parts. Okay, there.
So is it the condition of dependent origination is the same as the laws of karma?
Third one, the condition of the potentiality. Okay, so the all cause conditions, be it karmic cause and effect or non-karmic cause and effect, all must fulfill these three. It's not only the karmic. For example, let's say that there's rain. Where there's no rain, we can't expect vegetation is growing. And there should be rain that the vegetations grow well, right? So with the rain and the seeds, the vegetation seeds available, so they have the potentiality to give rise to the results. It's not only karmic, all across the board of cause and effect, these three hold true. Yeah. You have a question?
No, I was wanting to answer, but
okay, good. So what is the second one? Dependent origination of the wholes, dependence on the parts. So this is another important thing where we think of, say, any object for themselves. To give you a simple example, that if I'm really passionate to take care of this beautiful gomba, then this beautiful gomba, you have to know that this beautiful gomba is the dependent origination of the wholes, dependence on the parts. This is a whole, yes? It is multiple parts. So if you want to take care of this gomba, then you have to take care of all the parts, right? Because this gomba exists only by dependence on the parts. So, like my hand, if I want to take care of it, if I really cherish my hand, I have to take care of all the fingers, the nails, the palm, the skin, right? These are the parts, dependence upon which my hand comes into being. So, dependent origination of the wholes, dependence on the parts. We should really be very careful that taking care of the world, we have to take care of the individuals, because these are the parts of the world. So this is one, but this is the okay. In terms of your cognitive understanding of these three levels of dependent origination, the first one is relatively gross, and second one is relatively subtler, and the third one is the subtlest. What is the third one? Dependent origination of dependence on mere mental imputation or mental designation, which means that everything that exists in this universe, they should necessarily exist by dependence on the mental designation or mental imputation. This is how our mind imputes that things come into existence. This is very subtle. Anything that exists in the universe, Buddha, Dharma, or Nirvana, Samsara, anything, you just name anything, should necessarily come into existence by dependence on the mental imputation. This is very complicated. And if you understand this, this alone will lead you to freedom from all miseries. This understanding will free you from the fears of life, from all fears of life. This is a total liberation. Okay, so the third one is what we have to emphasize. We have to spend a lot of time to study on, and particularly you get a glimpse of what it is. You get a glimpse. Initially, you kind of a tinge of a fear, and this tinge of fear is not bad. This tinge of fear is the reflection of the clash between your habitual chronic thinking and then new wisdom, the new wisdom that you are the newly developing. So there's a clash happening there. When the clash is there, friction is bound to be there. When the clash is there, friction is bound to be there. Where the friction is there, this friction is not a physical friction, it's a mental friction. So the mental friction is reflected in the form of a tinge of a fear. And as you experience, you meditate more. If it is overwhelmingly acute, overwhelmingly painful, scary, then stop for a while. You have to discuss with your teachers. Otherwise, if it is not too severe, then continue with the meditation. Continue with meditation. And of course, when I say meditation, it sounds so easy. It's not that easy. So this meditation must be preceded by some degree of conviction. And a conviction must be preceded by extensive studies. You getting it? So therefore, I said the books on emptiness by this great teacher, Lama Tsongkhapa. These books are extremely valuable, and particularly nowadays, the English-speaking people, they are very fortunate that his 2 classic books, they are already translated into English. They're all available there on emptiness. So you're very fortunate. In the earlier times, particularly when we go, we have all these books in Tibetan. We can easily get access to them, study them, refer to them so easily. Then when I meet with my friends who are English, dependent on English language and other languages as well, I feel really it's painful at times to see that, how I wish that they have the same degree of intelligence, they have the same degree of the inclination for Dharma, but they need the books, the materials from which they can get the information. They don't have this. Nowadays, these 2 major books are available. Okay. So third one is what we need to focus on. And before we move on to Chris, before we move on to what Chris is saying, I'd like to give this the clarification that speaking on dependent origination, say all the 4 Buddhist schools. Which 4 Buddhist schools? Hey. Raise hands. Yes, dear. Vaibhashika. Yes. Yes. Wonderful. Okay, these 4 schools. And these 4 schools, do they all understand dependent origination on the same level? This is a question. So for information, what I'd like to share with you is that of these 4 schools, the first 3 schools, which is Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, these 3 schools accept only the first level of dependent origination. For them, when you speak about dependent origination, for them it simply means dependent origination of the results, dependence on the causes. You getting it? Which means that for them, dependent origination is applicable only to the composite phenomena, impermanent phenomena, and dependent origination is not applicable to the non-composite or the permanent phenomena. Let me repeat it. For the first 3 schools, Buddhist schools, Vaibhashika, Sautrantika, Chittamatra, for these 3 schools, dependent origination simply means dependent origination of the results, dependence on causes, which is applicable only to impermanent phenomena. So of the 3 levels of dependent origination, the first one is applicable only to the impermanent phenomena, not to the permanent phenomena. So since that The first three schools, they accept only the first version of dependent origination. For them, dependent origination means only the impermanent phenomena. They don't relate dependent origination with the non-composite phenomena. You get it?
Why did you say only for impermanent phenomena?
It's not me. It's these three schools.
But I didn't understand. You said the first one, the cause and effect one.
For these first three schools, for them, if you say, what's your name? Vasudan. Vasuda. Vasuda, if you talk about dependent origination, these three schools will say, okay, Vasuda is talking about dependent origination, the results, dependence on causes. Whenever somebody says dependent origin, for them, it simply means the first level of dependent origination, not the second and third. And the first one is applicable only to the impermanent phenomena. Because cause and effect is only with those with substance, only those with impermanent phenomena. So it's not applicable to the permanent phenomena. Good? Got it? Yes.
How are these four schools reflected in the modern, or like in the currently existing Buddhist lineages, like the Theravada, Mahayana, and so on?
Say it again. What's your question?
How are these four schools reflected in the modern Buddhist lineages?
Okay.
Theravada.
The four schools, where are these four schools today in the modern day, right? I don't want to touch too much. In the Tibetan Buddhism, which I'm from, in the Tibetan Buddhism, say in the scholastic institutions, meaning the monastic universities, they study all the four. They're expert in all the four. It's not just that they hold the last one, the Prasangika Madhyamika as the highest, and then they ignore the remaining one. No, they study all. In order to understand the fourth one, you have to understand the first three schools so well. And they study so thoroughly. You getting? And Chinese Buddhism is more Madhyamika, and of course, I cannot really say on their behalf Chinese Buddhism because I'm not too familiar with them. I'm sure that, but I met some of the scholars. They're very excellent scholars. I really appreciate the Chinese scholars, the Buddhist scholars. They're really good, very refined. So I would say that they must be following Chittamatra as well as Madhyamika, both. Yeah. Okay, the two young boys. The first one, Amir?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, an example of dependent origination applying to permanent phenomena would be, for example, the absence of chocolate. Like you mentally see it as chocolate.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes. Wonderful. The boy there, your name?
Ashwin.
Ashwin, yes.
I can't understand the third level of dependent origination. Could you explain?
Say it again.
Third level of dependent.
Third level. Oh, third level is yet to be explained. Oh, wow, that's amazing. It's about 4 we are here. The third one.
I thought the question there, I understood it as, are there any particular schools currently practicing Vaibhashika or Sautrantika?
Okay, this is a good question. So now, they say the Tibetan scholars, let's say, the Tibetan scholars, they must be expert in all the four traditions, but can you think of one particular group which emphasizes on Vaibhashika? Another group which says that our philosophy is Sautrantic school. So this today is very difficult because the credit goes to the great Indian master Bodhisattva Rakshita. He was a brilliant logician, epistemologist, philosopher, really, and a great enlightened being. So he was invited to Tibet in 8th century AD by the Tibetan king, Chizong Dezen. And then he advised that the Tibetans, they're so dedicated that in Tibet they were trying to learn Sanskrit in order to learn Buddhist philosophy. And this Indian master, he instructed the Tibetan king, advised the Tibetan king that there's no point in the Tibetans learning Sanskrit. Sanskrit itself is a very rich language. And it'll take years and years, and you're not learning in a native Sanskrit-speaking country. You are learning in a foreign language, foreign country. So therefore, it'll take a lot of time, and then people to actually study the Dharma will take a lot of time. So therefore, the best is to translate all these volumes of the Sanskrit, the manuscripts into Tibetan. So the whole translation, the project started at the advice of Bodhicitta Rakshita. And because of this, so in the olden times, for example, say, in the olden times, there are two, let's say, there are two teachers who are actually brothers, half brothers. In India, that must be in 4th century, 4th, 5th century, Acharya Arya Asanga and Acharya Vasubandhu. Two of them are half brothers. And Arya Asanga, he was following Madhyamika philosophy. And his younger brother was following, in those days, following more the Sautrantika, Vaibhashika and Sautrantika. And the younger one was exceptionally bright, and the intelligence between the two brothers is very different. Both are extremely intelligent, and yet the younger one is so sharp, and the elder one can give answers, very comprehensive answers. And the younger one, they did not really agree too much with his elder brother in terms of the philosophy, because they follow different traditions. Then finally, the younger one would put a lot of questions to his elder brother, Arya Sangha. Then Arya Sangha would, take it easy and give few lines of answer. And the younger one would get all the answers from these two, again who threw more questions, and eventually the younger one accepted the philosophy of his elder brother. Yeah. So in those days, yes, there were scholars who actually adhered to these different traditions. For example, like say even in 11th century AD, say the Bodhicitta, which we're going to study and practice in this the retreat. So this all these teachings came from, of course, we got from His Holiness the Dalai Lama and all my teachers. These actually came from the 11th century great Indian master by the name Lama Atisha. And Lama Atisha, he inherited all these teachings from his teacher Lama Selingba. Lama Seling from Indonesia. Is there anybody from Indonesia? Okay, from Indonesia, Lama Selingba. And Lama Selingba was actually following Chittamatra philosophy. He was adhering to Chittamatra philosophy, whereas Lama Atisha was following Madhyamika philosophy. So in those days, yes, but in Tibet, as I said earlier, Bodhicitta Rakshita, he made it very clear that you don't just confine yourself to one tradition. You have to be expert in all traditions, and then you decide whichever you feel. And naturally, of course, if you are very keen to learn the tenor systems of different traditions, then you come to know that, say, the Vaibhashika, it has its own drawbacks, and which the drawbacks or loopholes which will be addressed by the Sautrantic school. And Sautrantika again has its own loopholes, which are being addressed by the Chittamatra. And Chittamatra has its own loopholes, which will be addressed by the Madhyamikas. So this is how, we see, if you study all these things, you're bound to see that the Madhyamika philosophy is very good. But even today, in the monastic universities, big monastic universities, we see some, they have a greater inclination towards Savatantrika Madhyamika, with the two Madhyamikas. And majority go for Prasangika Madhyamika, but they're all equally expert in all different traditions. Good. Okay. So the third one, don't worry, Ashwin, this is what we're going to study. We have to study in more detail. Okay, now going back to the point. Again, your name, sorry. What Chris said is that the third eternal will of Dharma. Third eternal will of Dharma. Now, how did the Buddha interpret his own two teachings, which Bodhisattva Pramata Samudgada, Tindamyandapa, the Bodhisattva Pramata Samudgada asked the Buddha that in the first Four Noble Truths of Dharma, you, the Tathagata, are taught that Four Noble Truths exist truly. In the second Four Noble Truths of Dharma, you, the Venerable Tathagata, you taught that nothing exists truly. So given that these two are superficially contradictory, and that you are the full enlightened one, there should be no confusion there. So there must be a reason why you taught these two, say, the contradictory teachings, at least on the surface level. And then the Buddha interpreted his own two teachings. How was the interpretation done? This is a question. Yes? Okay. So there we talked about the three natures. What are the three natures? Impure nature, other-powered nature, thoroughly established nature. Three natures are there. Okay, so now you tell me, of these three natures, one is impure by your thoughts, one is other-powered where there's a substance there, like the flower, the house, your body, your mind, and so forth, with the substance, which they comes into existence by the power of other causes and conditions, other-powered, right? Other-powered. And the third one is thoroughly established phenomena, thoroughly established nature. Three. Of the three, tell me, which seem to be very stable. For example, let's say there are three people, right? There are three people, and then they come to you, and you are the interviewer. You have to give a job. It's a job interview. And the first person said that, oh yeah, I can. If you give me the job, I can make you the president of America, right? And the second person said that, no, I cannot make this commitment, but at least I can make you the president, the Prime Minister of Australia. Right? And the third one said that, no, this is totally impractical. We should find a ground, right? So you tell me what to do, and if I can do, I'll let you know. If I cannot do, I'll tell you, right? Who is the one who is most grounded? Third one. Likewise, of these three natures, impure nature, other-powered nature, and the thoroughly established nature, just pick up one which you find as most grounded. Thoroughly established nature. Second one? Okay, so why did you say, okay, thoroughly established nature, yes, it's thoroughly established, so grounded, right? And the other powered nature, why do you prefer other powered nature over the impure nature? Why? Just raise a speaker mind, yes.
It has substance versus the other is imagination.
Say it again.
It has substance versus the other has imagination.
Okay, what is substance? As opposed to the other one, it's just imagination. It's just mental imputation. It's not pure imagination, it's mental imputation. Mental imputation versus what is the substance? What is substance is more stable, more grounded. You agree? How many agree with Lisa? Raise hands. Okay, good. So, you already got the answer. Of the three natures, a thoroughly established nature and other powered nature, these two are very grounded and very truly existent. And the first one, impure nature, is not truly existent. It's just coming from your mind. You're getting it? So therefore, the Buddha interpreted. When the Bodhisattva Pramadasamudgata made the request to the Buddha, so how would you say how would you clarify, or how should we know which of the two teachings to be taken at face value? And the Buddha interpreted his teachings. The Buddha said that in the first Four Noble of Dharma, when I said what? Four Noble Truths exist truly, I meant other powered nature and thoroughly established nature to be truly existent. It's so grounded. You getting it? Of the three natures, let me repeat it. Yes, I'll repeat it. Say, in the first Four Noble of Dharma, when I taught the Four Noble Truths to be truly existent, there's something truly there, I meant the other powered nature and the thoroughly established nature to be truly existent. And the second Four Noble of Dharma, what did the Buddha teach? Hey, second Four Noble of Dharma, what did the Buddha teach? Emptiness of objective existence Emptiness of true existence. Nothing exists truly. This is what the Buddha taught in second turning. So the Buddha said that in second turning will of Dharma, when I said nothing exists truly, nothing exists objectively, I meant the imputed nature. You are getting it? So then the third school came into existence. What is the third school? Chittamatra, right? Chittamatra, in the first turning, the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths exist truly. In second turning, with the Buddha taught nothing exists truly. So the first, when the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths exist truly, who were happy? Okay, so you're all lazy. You don't want to look at the book and you said the first one, right? What's the first one? Vaibhashika and Sautrantika. So these two, they're happy, they left. And then the second turning of Dharma, Buddha taught nothing exists truly, nothing exists objectively, right? Who's happy? Mathimaya, they're happy, they left. So who is left now? Only Chittamatra are left, so they're confused. One, some people are very happy, but we're not happy, we are confused. First teaching, the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths exist truly. And second, the turning with the Buddha taught nothing exists truly. So which is the teaching that we should accept? So they were confused. You're getting it? So what's the clarification the Buddha gave? Anyone raise hands? Raise hands, raise hands, raise hands, raise hands. Okay, the girl here. Okay, how many agree with, what's your name? Okay, how many agree with Karen raise hands? What Karen said is perfect. Good. Okay, so let me repeat it. That how the Buddha interpreted this interpretation in response to the question asked by Bodhisattva Pramad Samudgada, right? The clarification Buddha gave in response to the question asked by Bodhisattva Pramad Samudgada, that response came to be known as the third turning of the wheel of Dharma. What is that response? That the second term, during the first turning of the wheel of Dharma, that Buddha taught Four Noble Truths to exist truly. Buddha referred to the other part of nature and the thoroughly established nature to be truly existent. Then in the second turning of Dharma, when the Buddha taught nothing is truly, it refers to the imputed nature to be not existing truly. So this school, Chittamatra school. For Chittamatra school, now what is the philosophy of Chittamatra school? For Chittamatra school, the philosophy is that the imputed nature does not exist truly, and the other part of nature and the thoroughly established nature exists truly. This is the philosophy. You're getting it? Okay, this is how the interpretation was done. So, with this, the three turns will of Dharma, how, where they were taught, who are the Tagadurians, and finally, the subject matter, all done. So with this, the next part, yes?
Krishna is existing. Can I equate here existing truly with inherent existence?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Oh, everyone is so curious. What's the question? Say it again, loud.
The question is, Krishna, can I equate, when you say in the first turning of the wheel, Buddha said that a thoroughly established nature and other powered nature exists truly. Can I equate this exists truly to be synonymous with exist inherently?
Do you follow the question? No, why no? Because the question is so good. Very profound.
Could you repeat the question?
Okay, the question is that first turn, second turn, first turning. During the first turning, when the Buddha taught that Four Noble Truths exist truly. That truly, can we equate this with inherent existence? The Four Noble Truths exist truly doesn't mean the Buddha taught the Four Noble Truths exist inherently. Inherent existence, true existence, can these two be equated? This is the question. It's a very complicated question. Anyone who can guess?
No.
Anyone who can guess? Okay, if the Joshua raises his hand, then I would agree. Otherwise, We cannot guess unless you study it very systematically. Joshua studied it. Tell me.
Only a guess. Isn't this the distinction between the Prasangika Madhyamaka and Savantantrika Madhyamaka?
Yes, this is the information that he has. This is so good. So because he learned it. So therefore, I'm not surprised. If not surprised, that because he learned these things. NDC2?
NDC3.
NDC3. Okay, by the way, okay, Siddhartha has all these brushes there with him. So basically, we see that this, why I'm saying that, because of course, I do not mean to say that, such courses are not there elsewhere. There are very good courses in other places as well. But there are several of people here who are doing these courses. This one is 5 years course. And if somebody is interested, there's still a window for the enrollment. But this one is 1 year course, Nalanda diploma course, which will, the third batch is completed. The fourth batch will be commenced the next year, hopefully in March. It's 1 year course. And we study these things, then you will be taught things very systematically. This is where all these nuances can be understood. Okay, so let me be, and then just take these copies. They're all there with Siddhartha, and it's not necessary you have to join. Just you will learn what is what's happening there in these two courses. And if you do know people who are interested, sometimes there's a major problem with us that we already start the course for a 5 years course, already in the middle of the course, and then people make a request, please, please, please enroll me, and that's too late. So therefore, still, it is a beginning. We just started the second batch, and if people are interested, still there's a window, the possibility for the people to join this 5 year course. And for the development course, it's 1 year course, and some people, after 6 months, they request for the enrollment. It's so difficult for us and difficult for them. For us to say no, it's so difficult. For them, when we reject it, it's so difficult. For us to say yes also is very difficult because already 6 months gone and you interrupt the flow of the other people who are already enrolled. And for this year, the 5 years course, already we have 766 students enrolled already. So they are already taking the classes, and still there's a window, a short window, I think maybe till the end of this month, there's a window of enrollment there. If you're interested, you can still enroll. So this one, don't worry. The other one, 1 year course, don't worry. So this will be commenced only the next year in March. Yes. Okay, all these are in great detail explained here. If I keep explaining this, then I'm advertising Tibet House. And I'm not doing Bodhicitta retreat here, right? So all the details are there. All details, online, offline, right? And the students, monastics, they're all highly, highly, highly subsidized. First of all, subsidized to everybody. And for the monastic students, subsidized even more. It's just the nominal, very, very, very nominal. And then the online, offline, both available. And some people who don't want to sit for exams, then the assignment notes, and so forth. Okay, so all details are there. Feel free to get this, etc. One possibility would be we can keep them on the desk there. On the desk there, the donation box. You can keep it there later on, right? It's there. Okay. So the question is, what about true existence and inherent existence? Are these two synonymous? This is a big question, right? Okay, who's going to volunteer to remind me of this question? At the moment, it's very confusing. Okay.
When should we remind you?
Okay, first raise your hands who's going to remind me. At least I want 2 or 3. 1, 2, 3. One extra? Okay, 4. So let's have 4 of these people will remind me as to whether or not, what is the question? Hey, the boy there, what's the question?
The question is if you can equate the 4 noble truths existing truly to them existing inherently.
Okay, to make it very simple and short, whether or not true existence and inherent existence can be equated. Do they mean the same? Okay, this question. Good. Okay, this you will remind me most likely on the 3 days after. 3 days after. So, and the okay. Now, what is the point? Where did we leave last? What should we be doing now?
Dependent origination on dependence on mere mental designation.
So that is the main topic. How to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. You getting it? How to wake up from the sleep of ignorance, meaning how to see things as subjectively real. That when you wake up, what is the distinctive feature of you having woken up? Anyone? What is the distinctive feature of you having woken up and your fear dissolves? What is the distinctive feature? Anyone? Hey? In other words, what made you have your fear dissolve when you wake up? The fear of night, the dream ghost chasing you. Anyone raise hands? Raise hands. Raise hands over the air.
Exposure to reality. Exposure to reality.
What's the reality?
When you wake up and you see that it doesn't exist, there's no proof.
No, it exists. Okay, dream ghost exists or not? Dream chocolate exists or not? Huh? Dream chocolate exists or not? How many of you say yes, dream chocolate exists? Raise hands. Okay, how many say no? Dream chocolate doesn't exist? Raise hands. Dream chocolate doesn't exist? Raise hands. Okay, one. Dream chocolate exists, but it doesn't exist as a chocolate. Raise hands. Okay, right, good. So, dream ghost exists. Dream ghost does not exist as a ghost. You're getting it? Let's not forget it. So with this, okay, anybody else who likes to give the answer? What's the question? What is that?
When we wake up, like what exactly happens when we wake up?
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is that we start seeing things existing not of objective reality but of subjective reality.
Okay, how many agree with
Vasudha.
Vasudan? Raise hands. How many agree with Vasudan? Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what Vasudan is saying is that what makes your fear dissolve when you wake up from the nightmare of a dream ghost chasing you was that you discover that the dream ghost is empty of objective reality. Dream ghost exists only coming from your mind. What are all these hands? These questions or answers? You agree? Oh, how many agree with Vasudan? Listen. How many agree with Vasudan? Perfect, very good. I'm glad. Okay. So now the question is how to wake up. How to wake up. Well, finally, we learn that till we wake up from the dream, that even if it's a pleasant dream, there's a problem. With an unpleasant dream, yes, of course there's a problem. Even with a pleasant dream, neutral dream, even there's a problem. What's the problem? Raise hands. Yes. No freedom to choose the dream. Right? How many agree with Lena? Raise hands. No freedom to choose the dream. What's the problem with no freedom to choose the dream? What's the problem? How many feel that is a problem? No freedom to choose the dream is a problem. Raise hands. Why? Yes? Why is the problem? No, speak. Okay, in other words, we want control of the situation. We don't want, we want freedom. We want freedom, right? We want freedom. So the lack of freedom
The fact that we cannot choose the dream, there's a lack of freedom. Lack of freedom is misery, suffering. Suffering is samsara. You're getting it? So this is the fear. What's the fear? Fear is a lack of freedom. Fear is a lack of freedom. Is there anybody who can explain to us how is fear lack of freedom? Raise hands. Well, lack of freedom is also fear. Fear is a lack of freedom. Is there anybody who can explain how to fear is a lack of freedom? Anyone? Okay, the Jyoti. Good. Anyone else? Yes, the girl there.
I think the question is how to get control and things that are out of control.
The question is, how do you equate the lack of freedom? What is that?
Freedom with fear.
Oh, yes. How do you equate fear with lack of freedom? How is fear lack of freedom? The lady over there? No. Behind you.
When you have fear, you take different decisions, and maybe you have less time. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, the lady here.
One thing is that fear takes control over you, so that is a lack of freedom. But when you're letting the fear drive your decision and thinking.
How fear itself is a lack of freedom? The girl here. With fear, you don't have joy and happiness. It steals your joy and happiness. Even if you have joy and happiness before, with the fear, instantly, all joy and happiness disappears. Okay, the gentleman over there.
Fear comes out of ignorance, that's why.
So how is fear lack of freedom? Anyone? Okay, the Ashwin?
Because if we had fear, we would not choose to feel fear.
Very good. Nobody wants fear. You're getting it? Nobody wants. What is fear? Let's say that the fear that I may contact COVID. You're getting it? So nobody wants to have the COVID, but I may contact COVID. That's a fear. I may contact fear. You don't want that, and yet it comes. This is, you don't have freedom. You don't have freedom not to have this, not to have the COVID. You're getting it? So the fear is synonymous with the lack of freedom. And the fear can be ranging from, for example, okay, I may not get the tea, hot tea. It's a very small fear. It's a very small fear. We don't call it fear in the conventional sense, right? When the fear degree hits 50%, then conventional world classifies that as fear. And some people, right? Oh, this pen is not working. So much tension, right? For small things, tension. This pen is not working. Oh, right. Oh, this mug, there's a little dirt there, right? Oh, this flower does not have a petal there. Oh no, it's so inauspicious. No petal there. You freak. This is totally unrealistic. You're getting it? So we have to get over these. In other words, the fear, okay, it's the same, the Ashwin, beautiful said it. Nobody wants to have the fear, and yet you have the fear. You have no freedom not to have the fear. You're getting it? You have no freedom not to have the fear. So lack of freedom.
I have a question.
Yes.
All people cleaning mania, is it due to fear?
All people with maniac. Cleaning maniac. Okay, don't put me in a problem. Right? So cleaning maniac, these people, they come to hit me, right? They protest against me. Okay. Shall I give the answer or not? Or so-so? Huh? If so-so, I'll leave it. Okay, so let's say that, yes, this is a psychology. This is psychology. Where, say, people who say their hands are already washed, and you touch, and again wash. Again you touch, again you wash. And wash it 10 times. With soap, like, which the 20 people use, this person can use in one go. Right? Is this what you mean? Okay. Is that because of the fear, this question? This is the psychology. So, say what you do, and how many of you have this problem, raise hands. How many of you don't have this problem, raise hands. Okay. You don't have this problem because of one factor. You're getting it? If you're hit with this factor, you will also go through the cleaning, what do you call it? No, what do you call this? Cleaning maniac? OCD, I know. OCD, right? OCD, there are different kinds. Cleaning maniac, you call it? Okay, let's say cleaning maniac. So if that's the case, what is happening is that it's a cycle, which actually is a part of what I'm supposed to be teaching you. Say, how to bring about transformation in your mind from a very agitated person to a very calm person, from a very selfish person to a very compassionate person, from a very insensible person to a very sensible person, transformation. How this transformation happens is fine. So we will explain this here. What's your name? In relation to Joanna's question, we can do it right here. So then, fun is your mind which decides whether you should clean your hand once, whether you say 10 seconds, or some people 3 seconds, some people 10 seconds, some people 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes like this, and again soap, again like this, again soap, again like 10 minutes, 10 minutes, some people, right? Okay. So there, what is happening is that this, which means, is that being done voluntarily or is mechanically happening? Okay, think seriously and tell me. So this person, if there's a slipping, right, is still doing this or not doing it? Slipping will not do, which means it's not mechanical. You're getting it? It's not mechanical. That is a mental drive there. Mental drive there that, oh, my hand is still not clean. Again, so there's, okay, so what is happening is that, okay, how many of you had that experience? Sometimes you just feel, you just take a power nap. You get up, and you feel so fresh, resents sometimes. Even 10 minutes, 5 minutes, power nap, you get up, it's so fresh, so delight. And sometimes 1 hour sleep, still you feel so drowsy, heavy, right? Okay, resents. And most of the time, right? Power nap where you become so fresh, so less. Okay, so of the two, in the two situations, when is it more likely that that you will do something meaningful? When the power nap, you feel so fresh, or you feel so drowsy? When you're fresh. Okay. So what made you to engage in this particular act of doing something meaningful when your mind feels so fresh? Is that, say, there's a pleasant feeling within you. And of course, we're going to study in more detail that later on. Pleasant feeling comes. This pleasant feeling, sometimes when you feel so light, elated, you just feel like talking to anybody, right? And sometimes you feel so heavy, you don't even want to talk to your husband, wife, or your children, or to your brother or sister. You simply want to remain like this, down. Right? Does it happen? Okay. So the feelings decide whether you engaged in particular action or non-action. In other words, all our actions are determined by the feelings inside. You're getting it? So where you feel that okay, the washing a hand, and you feel that, oh, it's still not clean. It's still not clean. My hand is not clean, right? My hand has no. If you have a feeling, if you get that thought that my hand is still not clean, would you feel pleasant or unpleasant? Unpleasant. So how to get rid of this unpleasant feeling? Finally, it's not your hand present, clean or not clean. It's the unpleasant feeling coming in you. And you are thinking of getting rid of the unpleasant feeling. You don't want the unpleasant feeling. You want to get rid of this unpleasant feeling. And this one unpleasant feeling, what's the trigger? The thought that the hand is not still clean. You're getting it? So, how to get rid of the unpleasant feeling? By cleaning it more. Clean more, again come. Again, same thought comes. Still it's not clean. Again, an unpleasant feeling. So as long as the unpleasant feeling is not removed, you'll continue to wash. Then after a while, after 10 minutes, then it gradually subsides. Okay, now it's clean. Then you stop after 10 minutes. And some people, in 2 seconds, right? You put the soap, and soap is not even rubbed, right? Soap, and then in the water like this. What is this? In 2 seconds, the pleasant feeling came. In 2 seconds, pleasant feeling came and washed and finished. Soap is wasted. Why do you put the soap? No need. I was so fascinated. How come? I look at these people. And then they put the soap, and soap not only just a drop, a lot of soap, right? And a lot of soap, and then in the water like this, finish. And just throw it there from the container, took it out and dump it in the sink. That's it. That's the job. And he thinks that he has cleaned it with the hand, clean, right? And the pleasant feeling already came. Pleasant feeling came, and this stuff, my hand is clean. Okay, so some people, it's 2 seconds. For some people, 60 into 10 is 600 seconds. For some people, it takes 600 seconds to get this pleasant feeling. For some people, in 2 seconds, you get the pleasant feeling and you stop. Hand is clean, right? Some people, they hand is dusty, and then what they do is they go under the tap and just few drops of it, and clean. It's clean now, right? Okay, so this is psychology, and more detail we'll discuss in class. Okay. So next is, yes. The middle way, don't worry. So all those questions, just hold on for a while, for 2 days. At least give me 2 days. Don't interrupt me too much in the class. Let me flow. You're getting it? So let us all have some amount of information, and then the questions will be very meaningful. You're getting it? You will, for sure, I'll give chance to you to ask questions. Don't worry. You're getting it? The point is that many of the questions that you have will be resolved over the classes. Without having to ask, you'll get the answers. You're getting it? Okay. So otherwise, we'll not finish. I'm a little ambitious to cover more information, to cover more materials here in this, the Bodhicitta Center, because number one, Bodhicitta Center is a well-established center, and they're somehow it has been like almost 20 to 25 years, if not 30 years, that I'm somehow I know the center so well. Yeah. So I'm a little ambitious to cover more materials, and then many of the questions, no doubt, will be resolved in the course of the classes. Don't worry. Okay. So we're talking about the okay. So now to go further into emptiness, I'd like to take you to one verse by Arya Nagarjuna. And this verse is that ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Okay, you want to write? Right. Ceasing. Ceasing means stopping. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. A ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Let me repeat it. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of the inappropriate attention. Which in turn arises, third line, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. And the last line, the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Let me repeat it. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. And the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Through the wisdom of emptiness. My excellent problem.
Yeah, I can't.
Are you sure?
I write fast.
Oh, I've been very generous. Okay, let me repeat it. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. If I talk like this, people will be, so unhappy. Very slow. Ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. Karmas and afflictions arise from conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Third line, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Which in turn, line 3, which in turn arises from the elaboration of self-grasping ignorance. Last line, the elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. The elaboration ceases through the wisdom of emptiness. Sorry? Arya Nagarjuna. Okay, did you have this, the verse? Good. Okay, now I'll explain this. Okay, here there are 5 points indicated. We have to remember the point. You're getting it? So this is where the articulation comes. You have to remember the points. There are 5 points there. What are the 5 points? Number 1, it says, the ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana. What's the opposite of nirvana? Samsara. So number 1 is samsara. And what is the immediate cause of samsara? Samsara simply means miseries. That's it. Loss of freedom. That's samsara. Don't think that samsara is some just place there. Just loss of freedom. That is samsara. So this samsara, immediate cause. Okay, samsara is number 1. Samsara, the immediate cause is the contaminated karmas. Contaminated karmas. So it says, ceasing of karmas and afflictions is nirvana, which means is the freedom from samsara. Which means samsara is the result of the contaminated karmas. Number 2. Contaminated karmas are the results of afflictions. Number 3. Contaminated karmas are the results of afflictions. Number 3. And afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention. Let me repeat it. Afflictions arise from the conceptualization of inappropriate attention. What is inappropriate attention? This question, I know, right? So don't worry. Okay, number one is samsara. Immediate cause of this is contaminated karmas. Number three is afflictions. Number four is conceptualization of inappropriate. Or to make it very simple, number four is inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attention. Then number four is self-grasping ignorance. Number five, yes, thank you. Number five is self-grasping ignorance. These are 5 points. Okay, so let me explain these 5 points. These are the 5 points, right? These are 5 points. How each one of us we are suffering. Any suffering that we go through should necessarily they happen through the mechanism of these 5, involvement of these 5. And initially, the first, let me give you, to explain this, let me give an example. An example. Once you understand it, then let us try to correlate this with the real life sufferings. Okay. Okay, imagine that we are all in deep sleep. Deep sleep. And then usually your mom, may come to you to ask for, okay, come for breakfast. Say it's 7 o'clock. And today the mother slams the door or just opens the door and then knock. I said, right? It's very so unusual. And you are in deep sleep and you are not fully woken up. And you could hear the door opened. And you saw, okay, let's say that you saw that is your mother. And mother said, happy birthday to you. And what is it they're doing? Mother is doing? Mother is holding something in her hand. Right? So, since that you are in a deep sleep and you are just woken up from this deep sleep, still you are not fully woken up. And what happens? That you look at the mother and you see that your mother is holding something in her hand. So what will you do? Tell me, what will you do? Okay, ordinary smart. Others still in the sleep. They are not too smart. Ordinary say, wake up and get this present. Okay, so first, because what is in the mother's hand, you don't worry. It'll not disappear. It'll not go to anywhere else. It'll go to you only, right? So what you do is that, how many of you will be more happy to see what it is, whether it is something useful to me or not? Makes sense? Okay, so what will you do?
Get up.
Huh?
Wake up. Get up.
Get up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I will snap at my mother.
No.
Because I'm sleeping.
No, sleeping, yes, but there's something in her hand. You may not get it, right? Okay, so they say you don't want to get up, right? And you are interested in what is in the mother's hand. What will you do? And you are in a deep sleep. Yes, Joshua? You rub your eyes to see what it is. You're getting it? You don't see it clearly. So to see clearly, what will you do? You rub your eyes. When you are rubbing your eyes, what actually are you doing? You pay attention. You're getting it? Okay. Okay, let's say. Okay. So let me do it. Okay, let's better do this. Do you know what is the color of the iPhone? Red? What's the color of the iPhone? Huh? Is it red or not?
Yeah,
Some are red. Okay, let's say red. So what do you do? Okay, now let me do it again. Okay. You fall asleep. You fall asleep, and you start dreaming of attending a class, right? Attending a class. And in class, okay, is anybody having a mobile? No? Okay, not allowed. Okay. Okay, let's say, mobile not allowed. Okay, let's say that in the class, right, I showed you a mobile. You're dreaming. In the dream, you dream of attending class. By the way, how many of you dreamt last night of attending class? Is anyone? Yes, okay. Okay, one. Anyone else? Only one. Okay, so you dream of attending class, and suddenly I picked up the mobile. Oh, there's a mobile there. Number one. Is it a real mobile or a dream mobile? And how real mobile, dream mobile? Dream mobile. But you see the dream mobile as real mobile or dream mobile? Real mobile. Seeing the dream mobile as a real mobile is ignorance or what? Ignorance. Okay, don't forget it. This is ignorance. Then what you do is that you looked at it very carefully. Right? You looked at it very carefully. Oh, this is brand new iPhone 14 Max. No, brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max. Right? Wow. Okay. Then in your dream, what you do is that you raise hand, Geshe, can I have my mobile exchange with yours? Then the other friend, let's say Joshua, right, says, no. I already told him, before he entered the room, I already told him that, my mobile is going to be exchanged with his. And then you say, no, right, and two of you have fist fight. With a fist fight, what happens? Then the police comes and take you behind bars. Take you in prison. Prison, is it a good place? No, you do not come here for prison. You come here for retreat, and you end up in prison. Right? So prison is not a good place. It's samsara. Right? And then your mother is so worried. So my child is not coming. What happened? Right? And call the office. And, oh yeah, there are two people behind bars now. So perhaps it's your daughter and it's your son. Then the poor mother goes to the prison and saw you there. Right? Hey, why did you end up in prison? You went for Bodhicitta retreat. Why you end up in prison? What's your answer?
Samsara.
No. What's the answer? Why did you end up in prison? Why did you end up in prison? Don't be philosophers. Yeah, why did you end up in prison? Because I fought. I fought with Joshua. I fought. Fighting is karma, physical action, right? What he said is correct. Physical action. I end up in prison, which is samsara, because I fought. That is the action. Action is, in Sanskrit, it's karma. Why did you fight? Right? Why did you fight? Hey, why did you fight? Raise hands. Here's the girl there. No, don't be philosopher. Here's Lena. Yes, this guy, he's my competitor, right? He's my competitor. I don't like this person, right? And why you're so hostile towards Joshua? Why? Because I'm so attached to the mobile. I'm angry towards him. Involuntary pull and push. Involuntary pull towards the mobile. Involuntary push towards Joshua. You're getting it? Involuntary pull and push is known as affliction. Involuntary pull is attachment. Involuntary push is aversion. And these two are afflictions. So this karma, they fight karma is because of the affliction. And why were you so attached to the mobile? What's the answer? Mom, this is not an ordinary mobile. This is brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max, right? It's not just ordinary mobile. Okay. Is that mobile or dream mobile? Dream mobile. Dream mobile, can it ever be iPhone 14 Pro Max? No. You're getting it? This is exaggeration of the quality of the object. Okay, one is inappropriate attention. Inappropriate attention is the exaggeration of the quality of the object. That is the inappropriate attention. Exaggeration of the quality of the object. Okay. Inappropriate attention is the exaggeration of the quality of the object. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. I said five minutes before, and then it's already only 1 minute left. So you also forgot. Okay. So now, what made you think that this is brand new iPhone 14 Pro Max? The ground is that you see the dream mobile as a real mobile. You're getting it? So what you did, you distort the reality of the object, number one. Then you distort the quality of the object, number two. Then the attachment and aversion arises, affliction. With the afflictions, then you have the fifth find, that is karma. With the karma, you end up in prison, that is samsara. You're getting it? This is how all our miseries happen. So, if you don't want to end up in prison, what should you have done? Okay, what would be the immediate measure? If you don't want to be in prison, what should you not have done? You should have stopped fighting. To stop fighting, what should you have done? You should have not have the aversion to Joshua and attachment to the mobile. And even the aversion to Joshua is because of the attachment to the mobile. And what should you have done if you didn't want to have the attachment to the mobile? You should not have exaggerated the quality of the mobile. And if you don't want to exaggerate the quality of the mobile, what should you have done? You should not have, say, the misconceived the reality of the object. So how not to misconceive the reality of the object? You have misconceived the reality of the object. What's the reality of the object? That is the dream mobile. And you misconceive that as the real mobile. And if you don't want to see the dream mobile as a real mobile, what should you do? Hey, if you don't want to see the real dream mobile as a real mobile, what should you do? Wake up. You getting it? Okay. So look. Sorry? Exactly. So therefore now, so let's say that, right? Okay, you have never heard about iPhone 14 Pro Max, right? And your parents just give it very easily. You will not value this. And everybody's showing iPhone 14 Pro Max, right? And you don't have it, right? Everybody's showing this every now and then your desire to own it increases, right? And every time, wake up, the desire to wake up will increase. Otherwise, you'll take it very easy, right? Your name? Raz, tell me. So now, how many times you heard this word? You have to wake up.
Almost infinite.
No. 10, 20, let's say 20, 30. So this has aroused your desire to wake up. You're getting it? How to wake up? How to wake up? Right? Without which you will not value this. Then when I teach, every word sounds nectar for you. Otherwise you will not value this, right? Right? Okay. So for this, now you tell me, what is that thing? If you wake up, all these chain of problems will stop. Chain of problem like what? Going by bars in the prison. Fights. Next. Afflictions. Attachment, aversion, which are afflictions. Then inappropriate attention, exaggerating the qualities of the object, then misconceiving the object as truly real, right? To stop all these things, one thing that you can do is wake up. So by waking up, how does it help to remove all these problems? Anyone? By waking up, how does it help to remove all these problems? Okay, the girl over there. Which wisdom? Which wisdom? Okay, to know the reality as it is. There?
The ignorance, self-grasping ignorance is removed.
Okay, self-grasping ignorance has to be removed. So how does it help? By removing self-grasping ignorance, how does it help that your fears, all these problems start? How?
Because self-grasping ignorance is the first thing in the chain. I mean, that whole
So
chain.
how, if it is the first, how does it stop the rest of the chain? How does it? So what happens?
They're all dependent on each other.
Huh?
They're dependent on each other.
They all depend on each other, rooted finally to this self-grasping ignorance. So in what way, remove the self-grasping ignorance, it stops the remaining chain? In what way? You tell me. What's the mechanism? This girl, your name? Aditi, tell me. What is the mechanism? Yes, of course, there's a cause and effect. But precisely tell me what is happening. What is happening when you remove the ignorance? Then what happens so that your all these problems stop? Here. Okay, look. Now she's using the word inherent existence. So you come to when you wake up, you realize that the dream contents, they don't have any substance or any reality there. No inherent existence there. There's no inherent existence there. It's just like your own dream, or just like what's coming from your mind. In other words, when you come to know that this is all coming from your mind, then your problems dissolve. You agree? Not agree? Rats, you agree? Not agree? Good. So our job is how to see everything as coming from the mind. You getting it? Okay. Now, what is this? Flower. You getting it? So most of the people from NDC, NMC, they will say, without looking at it, they will say it's a flower. NDC, NMC, people doing these courses, right? They know that I'm picking a flower. Okay. What is this? Hey, what is this? A flower. How nice is this? No comment. How nice is this? So nice. And some people say so. Right? Some people say so nice. Some people say it's very boring. Always picking a flower. Okay, listen. So when you say it is nice, how do you know that there's a flower there? No, just tell me. How do you know there's a flower in the hand? I can see it. Make it simple. I can see it. So what sees the flower? Your eyes, your eye consciousness. You're getting it? Your eye consciousness is the subject, and what it saw is the object. You're getting it? There's object-subject interaction happening. Okay. So in the dream, how many you have, let's say that you dreamt of the mobile phone, iPhone 14, right? So in the dream, what was the object? iPhone 14 was the dream. iPhone 14 was the object. What's the subject? The dreaming mind which dreamt of the iPhone 14. You're getting it? There's the subject of object in the play. Now, when you wake up, all these problems stop. Fighting with Joshua, everything stops. Because you came to know that the dream iPhone 14 was subjective or objective? Subjective. Perfect. So you have discovered when you wake up, you come to realize that the dream iPhone 14 was just purely subjectively real. It's not objectively real. It is empty of objective reality. You're getting it? Okay. So from this, what we come to learn is that we come to learn two technical words: objective existence and subjective existence. Objective reality and subjective reality. Okay, let's say mirage. Mirage. Is it objective or subjective? Objective, subjective resonance, or subjective resonance? Mirage, a mirage. Objective, subjective, subjective. Good. Rainbow. How many of you have seen rainbow resonance? All of us. Okay, this is the wrong question. How many of you have not seen rainbow resonance? Which means all of you have seen rainbow. So rainbow, is it objective or subjective? Huh? Those who will say subjective resonance, rainbow is subjective. Those who say objective resonance. Okay, this is more people who say that is objective. So this flower is objective, subjective. Okay, this flower, what is this flower? What's the color of this flower? Orange. Yellow or orange. And what's the flower in my right hand? What's the color of the flower in the right hand? No flower. No flower. Just imagine a blue flower. Imagine blue flower. Okay. What's the color of what's the color of the flower in my left hand? Orange. What's the color of the flower in my right hand? Huh? Hey, what's the color of the flower in my right hand? It's not blue. Where's blue? There's no blue there. It's the imaginary blue. Imaginary blue. And this is not imaginary blue. This is not imaginary yellow. It's an imaginary orange. What's the difference between these two things? The flower, the orange flower in my left hand and the imaginary blue flower in my right hand. What's the difference? Resonance, yes. One is tangible and one is not. Anybody else? Yes.
The flower is an objective reality.
Okay, one in my left hand, the orange flower is objectively real, and the imaginary blue flower is subjectively real. Okay, so while all answers are correct, I'm precisely looking for this word or this answer that we are introduced to the subjectivity and the objectivity. You're getting it? So what we learn is that the things existing, this blue, imaginary blue flower exists subjectively as opposed to objectively. You're getting it? The imaginary blue flower exists subjectively as opposed to objectively. So we're introduced to the objectivity and the subjectivity. Okay. Likewise, say okay, now let's say that I'd like to introduce to you, say, the several vocabularies. One is subjectivity as opposed to objectivity. And we also talked about dependent origination. Dependent existence as opposed to independent existence. And conventional existence as opposed to ultimate existence. And relative existence as opposed to absolute existence. You're getting it? I will explain I'm going to introduce to you these vocabularies. First one is subjective as opposed to objective. You have to remember these words. This will be very helpful. And if you don't take note of these things and remember these things, and you know that, yeah, these are very easy, right? And later on, you will fail to have the cumulative effect. The first one is subjective as opposed to objective. Dependent as opposed to independent. Deceptive as opposed to real or true. Deceptive existence as opposed to true existence. Then relative existence as opposed to absolute existence. Okay. Conventional existence as opposed to ultimate existence. So there are the 5 in pairs. 5 pairs. The first one, what is that? Subjective as opposed to objective. Then next, independent as opposed to, no, dependent as opposed to independent. Then deceptive as opposed to truly real, true existence. Then relative existence as opposed to absolute existence. Then conventional existence as opposed to ultimate existence. Okay, we have to remember these pairs. You getting it? So, when we say that the dream, in the dream we see the dream as objectively real. Objectively real. Okay, look now. So, what are the synonyms? Objective in the dream. You see the dream. The dream goes as objectively real, independently real. Hey, the opposite. Just read. Just read. Ultimately real, absolutely real, truly real. You're getting it? Okay. When you wake up, you discover that the dream goes as subjectively real, independently real, deceptively real, or deceptively existent, relatively existent, conventional existent. You getting it? Okay. So our job to study emptiness is to know that things, everything exists subjectively, deceptively, dependently, relatively, and conventionally. You're getting it? This is our job. So to know that everything exists in these 5 forms, you have to know what to be rejected. When I say that, let's say that if this flower is lying next to you, then suddenly I hurriedly come and grab at it and said that this is my flower. This is my flower, right? What does it mean by that? Anyone? What does it mean by that? It means that it's not yours. You're getting it? It's a nice way of saying it's not yours. It's empty of being yours. You're getting it? So when I say this is mine, it's another way of saying it is not yours. So when I say the flower exists subjectively, it's another way of saying, hey, am I too fast? Am I too fast? No, it's okay, right? Okay, so when I say that this flower exists subjectively, it means it does not exist objectively. When I say this flower exists dependently, it means what? It does not exist independently. So now to put it technically, when you say this flower exists subjectively, it means it is empty of objective existence. When I say this flower is conventionally existent, it is empty of ultimate existence. You're getting it? Okay, this is what we have to learn. So with this, oops, it's already 4:46. Okay, we stop here. I've ended the class. Not here, online class. So we'll stop here. So tomorrow, let's have these 5 pairs on our fingertips. If you don't have these fingertips on the fingertips, then tomorrow holiday. Right? Really, I mean it. Holiday. Right? You must have these. So if you want to have a holiday, let's not have these on the fingertips. Okay. Diyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswatyata